Hey guys, welcome back to the Dion channel. Today we're about to talk about the hellgate. I want to make this short and sweet because I only got a couple minutes before I leave my house. So here it goes. You may have heard about the tier 4 flat or 4.1 or the hellgate being increased way too much. It's so OP, please nerf it. You may go to the forum Reddit, and if you look at the past of the bug section or maybe the feedback suggestion, you may go right ahead and find out that there's a bunch of threads talking about these things, about the nerf, about the buff, about the too much fame in there and all that stuff. So let me show you something about the game. SBI has always had a foundation, and the foundation is we're going to fix the low risk versus high reward. They always had that since 2017. I mean, actually previous to that, from 2015 to 2016, I also been seeing this as well. So they have this kind of like a motto: we fix low risk versus high reward. The reward should be there. Should be high risk versus high reward. Low risk, you should get low reward. So let's talk about this in the first thread. And here you may actually see somebody actually talking about the 4.0 and 4.1, and you can read this if you want, which it shouldn't take you so much. And pretty much talking about is too much high reward versus low too much high reward for the low risk, and all the people are basically bringing on a 4.1, 4.0 to try to get these awesome fame. However, during the 5th page, there was a guy here talking about, because in RD there's a little no chance to have a fight and all that stuff, and how you try T8 maps or something like that, and basically there was a compare of T8 dungeon versus the Hellgate, and I definitely got a little bit confused because when I started this game again at March. Then I came on March 8th, but I actually started March 14th to farm some silver in order to have enough silver for the times that I'm going to die in Random Dungeon for all the good fame that I hear so much about, which I put on my motto in the game. Again, I hear that Hellgate is much better than the random dungeons, and understand the amount of loot that I gain in random dungeon equal to 60 mil after I lost, by the way, 12 mil, which I was at 18 when I started. I lost 12 mil and I gained up to 60 mil during the March 25 to April 9, and the fame that I got only in T5, not T67, because we were seeing so many dive in there. In the T5, that many of the high pro players, high top guild would not ever freaking bother and will ridicule you if you even ask for a T5 random dungeon. Basically, in the T5, I earned 15 to 17 mil in a week. So I said to myself, this is awesome. And I was actually doing with duo, I was doing with trio, and I guess I made a core run in March 25 for 4 people. And basically we either do from 2 people to 4 people. And we did some small amount of T6 when Darth Magus came into our dungeon. And we basically did it 4 to 5 people during those time. Again, I never actually heard too much of Hellgate until I decided to announce my quitting of the game and to help players, which I had to build up for that. But anyway, as I tried the Hellgate, I said to myself, wow, in Hellgate 5v5, I'm getting 105,000 in the red, like in the yellow 5v5 basically. I was getting 105 just for the last boss, and I was getting so much freaking good loot. I had a Galatine at 6.2, and I was making so much money. And I was like, damn, and all I need to do is bring tier 4, tier 4.1 and make it like a build setup, like, you know, like a tank goes in, stun, snare, smoke bomb, silence everybody, alien them, and finish them, and then we just finish them off, and I'm getting that much fame for it with premium, by the way. And I was like, wow, this is actually, I feel this is actually better than Hellgate. During this time, however, I say something feels a bit off. Are we really comparing T8 to 2v2 or 5v5 Hellgate? If we are by any chance, are we comparing 4.1 gears versus 7.2 for T8? Basically T8 random dungeon, because right now when you go to T8 random dungeon, they ask you to go in 7.1 or tier 8 equivalent. If you go a little bit higher, it'll be a little bit more faster run for the T8 random dungeon. So I keep talking. Or are you guys doing 4.1 in T8 dungeon? If so, please pull for the bid. I promise it's going to get a huge amount of views. I am talking about huge. And I want to tell you right now, if someone right now will see this video and actually make a tier 4.1 gear or tier 4 flat T8 random dungeon runs, do not hide your spec. If you are 400 spec, that thing can go up to T6 or T7 with just 400 out of 400 spec. So do not hide your spec. Show your spec that is actually either 0 out of 0 or low spec 50 out of 400, and you're doing T8 dungeon in tier 4 flat or 4.1. And then I promise you, I will subscribe, I would like your video, and I will share it in every Albion media out there and forum. I will even make a Reddit account again and share that shit in there. Or I'll just pass it to McPasta and he'll do it. Again, I say here, if not the case, can you compare a random dungeon that gives the same reward as 2v2 and 5v5? If so, which one would it be? T5, T6, T7, T8? I'm so curious myself that I'm discussing with some of the pro players and they're saying T7. However, I would like your opinion instead. Now, I have players in one of the highest guild for squad. I have players that were, before they got kicked, Money Goes just kicked a bunch of ass people back to back. That were in Money Guild and what they were doing so I can get information. And the answer I received was T7. Now, I didn't receive any spreadsheet. I didn't receive any video. So I'm going to take this by word and not by fact. There's something I don't like doing. I prefer that someone do a spreadsheet and that someone put a video out there so it can show me facts versus just out of your mouth words. But again, if it is actually tier 8 random dungeon or tier 7 compared to a Hellgate 5v5 and Hellgate 5v5 beats those dungeons, then yes, it is a low, whether you want to hear it or this or not, or you're biased, it is low risk versus high reward. Flat 4 or 4.1, you don't see people doing tier 7 or tier 8 with those gear fast runs, you know? Usually right now they say that the fastest run is 1.5 mil per hour on T8 with at least 6 to 7 people. I do 1.2 mil fame per hour on T5 with either 3 to 4 people. So again, moving to the next, where this whole started, the state of the game. SBI, you broke your own game with random dungeons. There is zero incentive to do any other content in the game. I came after 4 to 5 month break just to see that everyone is doing random dungeons. Hellgates are dead, and with reason. The fame is shit. The loot is shit. Hellgate is one of the only ways you can get a fair fight in this game as a 5v5. Now, let me start again. He did came up 4 to 5 months. I do not know if Arena was based on during those time. However, I want to, in his defense, I want to say that in Arena, you go into a bottom and you cap. And basically, when you're fighting a 5v5 during that time, if you kill the 2 DPS, a healer and a tank can try to stall enough long time for those other 2 players to respawn and come in there. Hellgate, you fight at 5v5, and once you die, you're not entering the dungeon because it's not a blue dungeon. You don't spawn outside of the Hellgate and able to get back in the portal just in time. You spawn in city, you have to regear and come back, and by that time, the portal is dead. So it's actually 5v5 fair fight. There's nobody else who's going to jump. It's not a 5v6, 5v7, or anything like that. It's a fair fight. Again, another thing that you also have to keep in mind is that Arena does not represent Hellgate. Arena has some builds where players do a cap build. A cap build is basically the cultist chest, I think cultist helm or specter helm, and what they do is that they run into the top alone. You fight another player versus 1. The crossbow fights that player. The crossbow is getting low. The crossbow uses the cultist chest and heals up to full, and uses specter hood to be able to refresh his chest back to instantly. So he fights the other player. If by any chance the crossbow cannot finish him, it procs the chest again and thus finish the player and cap the top. Arena has 8.3 players in there, and it basically has different kind of server like the Spectre chess combo and some other combos in there that they do for Arena only. These does not equivalent to the Hellgate. Hellgate has different kind of thing. I do not see someone running cultist row because I will slap them from the back of my hand that they're healing while I have to heal them too, giving them reduction. Basically healing reduction by 24%. So it's much different. So again, it is one of the fair fight for 5v5. I understand everyone is hyped with random dungeon, and it's good that people are getting out of the Carleon, etc., but the reward should be better than Hellgate. And I was hyped to come back to Albion, but Albion without Hellgate sucks. Again, you actually see some other people discussing this whole thing about the Hellgate and how Hellgate should be buffed, and a lot of players started definitely going over and over saying that they proposed that the Hellgate do get a revamp, do get buffed, do get higher fame, do get what is it called? Do get higher fame, higher loot. During this time, as you can see, the soft cap is about 800. They did increase it to 1,000. That's not enough, but they definitely increased it to 1,000 to make a player go up. However, a player with tier 4 or a fat floor or 4.1 with 400 spec can just easily fill that in. So it's just not enough, and it's hard to actually balance this. However, the Hellgate was sucky back then. It was worthless back then. SBI went ahead, buffed it. Wasn't enough. SBI buffed it again. Delicious. It just gave everyone a delicious pie. Instead of a fucking sucky rotten pie, everyone gets to eat this delicious pie. Now, because everyone is eating this delicious pie, if somehow I give you a lower pie tasting or the rotten pie, you're gonna cry in the forum. And then obviously if they try to balance the Hellgate right now, a lot of players are gonna QQ. A lot of free-to players who are making a lot of money from Hellgate are gonna QQ, and SBIs are, I'm pretty sure, going to cater to whatever it comes to their pocket, whatever gives them the most money. So balancing this just ahead of time for everybody who wants this balance, it's gonna be really hard, because these all players already got the taste of this beautiful pie and they don't want any other pie but this pie. Now, again, I'll go over here and here's the changes, and you'll see it. I'm gonna scroll up right here. Here's the changes. Hellgate factor by 1 to 8. Greater Hellgate, which is I think the 5v5, 2.5 to 3.5. Full Hellgate full loot Hellgate PVE factor 3.5 to 5, both laser and greater. Hellgate PVE fame Hellgate has been increased to approximately 66%. Now, I do not know if this is the second time that they buffed it again or the first time. Yellow zone Hellgate PVE factor of 2.5, 3.5, and red zone and black zone Hellgate has a PVE factor of 3 to 5. So what happened? Everyone start crying. Now, here's when I'm going to get to the thing about SBI and their foundation, which it either goes through one ear and comes out the other, or if they're so dense that it hits their ear and then bounces right off. Let me tell you, SBI was always the type of developer that actually fixes the low risk versus high reward. And I'm going to give you just a couple examples. You can go to the forum and see all the fucking examples that they did, but I'm going to give you 2 examples for this video. One, a long time ago, please listen to some music, because I'm about to give you some huge long story. I think it's huge. A long time ago, everybody was crying about T5 Yellow Zone. They wanted tier 6 mobs in Yellow Zone or tier 7 mob in Yellow Zone. In fact, I think Master said what made a thread about that in here, the near future, 2019. He made a thread that they should have tier 8, tier 7, tier 6, or in the Royal Continent, Yellow Zone, Blue Zone, and Red Zone. And I think that was hilarious. That guy, I'm telling you, you may hate the guy because he actually spouts so many shit in here and there and stuff like that, but that guy is funny. He has some funny content that you can actually entertain yourself. So no hate to Master said on this. I appreciate your entertaining content. I really do. During the yellow zone, I made a thread corresponding to the player outcry. They can't go to red zone and make money. I can only be in the yellow zone, and I don't want to lose my stuff. I don't want to work an hour or two gathering, and then the ganker kills me and takes all my loot. That's not fair. And basically, that's where the word Care Bear started to rise up in the 2017 series of Albion Online. So I am a Care Bear. I only went to 4 red zone and never went to black zone. And during that time, I decided, can I make money in yellow zone for 1 month, a premium for 1 month? So I made a guide with it. It's called the Gathering in Yellow for Premium. And basically, I received good, what's it called? Let me go back here to the First page, I received good replies from this. Of course, I did reply some itty bitty mid replies, meaning those players who didn't like that, you know, you can do stuff like this, but they want better. So, you know, they didn't want this kind of answer. But again, I made a huge long post about it, my data, what I was doing currently, and how I was making money in this game. At one point, the gold price was actually 500 to 1, and it was increasing. It was 530 for 1 gold, 580 for 1 gold, and we all predicted that it will go to 1,000 to 1 gold, and we saw the patterns. Now again, here I said this is what's estimated for the 1,001 gold in the future, to see if it's possible to stay in the gathering yellow, or do you have to shell out money. Again, I actually started posting a bunch of information, and I did get, you can see there's a bunch of information in here of how to do this and how much profit I was getting during that time. I received good, what is it called? I was receiving good feedbacks on this specific thing, with players nowadays do it. Nowadays players do it, and I will show you something else. Nowadays they do it. Again, I had Copy Russian at one point says, the only issue is with this is this. I received 25 mil just doing T5 farming. So he said I had no gold, and I explained to him that he said here, no gold, back yourself up as a silver, you keep losing value because it's already a 580 out of 1 gold. Yeah, I know you did estimate a 1,000 per 1, so you gave yourself some room. Again, he advised me to invest into gold, but then I said I didn't want to invest in gold because even though I'm getting decreasing value, that does not show me what the players might do in the future. I wanted to have the same burden that the players has right now. It's the bad thinking, as I say right here. And again, I said if I face the same hardship, they have no excuse. Which if I had gold and stuff like that, they could be saying that, oh, you just transfer your gold into silver, so you know there's an excuse right there. So I wanted no excuse for this type of thing that I was doing. Let's see how far this goes when 1,000 out of 1 gold. I think I estimated wrong. It might be 2.8 mil. And by that, I mean the premium. It might be 2.8 mil per month. And I will show you pictures about it. I did receive reviews and stuff like that, and it goes all the way down of everything I did. I got my tier, my what is it called? I got my scythe. No, sorry. I got my fiber to tier 8 from tier 7, which I worked my hide and my fiber tool sickles all the way from T5 to tier 8 in yellow zone, never in red zone. And here it is. During this time, I had 2.8 mil. I was still farming, and as you see down here, it was 475,000 per month. And I said an estimate might be like around here. It might be like 2.8 mil when the price increased from 580 to 1,000 silver for 1 gold. But here I showed that it was 1,300. Note that long time ago I did crash the market. Oh my God! Did I really destroy that? Did I really destroy that? I did. Oh my God. Wait, let me actually see a thread that I have my name right here. I did destroy, and that's supposed to destroy the site. I wanted to show what was happening, basically. Let me put it over here. Let me go down here and put this one too. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be close to leaving right now. Actually, I should have left already. That's bad. Alright, so basically, let's go here. This is my farming. This is what I did every day. Majority of the time, like between 6 to 8 hours a day. This is what I did. I farmed, and I only farmed T5s. I did farm some T4s, but I only pretty much farm in yellow zone. What happened with this? I had a bunch of beds in my guild. I had my own guild with the Gathering King's name. I had all labors, and I have videos about that. It's on the 2017 series if you scroll down. So what happened is I put all these leather once, and players thought it was a bot. They thought that I was a bot. Whoever was selling these massive amount was a bot. The price from T5 dropped to from 400 dropped to 200 and never recovered. So I am the reason why the market crashed back in 2017. I crashed it from 400 silver for every tier T5 to 200, and it never recovered because even though I soloed this, I kept farming and it didn't stop. So pretty much everybody started following the same trend. Every other place for 400 went down to 200. Collion was the only place that you can go there and sell it for 300 or 350. Collion was the only place that did not get affected, and because of that, players would come into my town, my bridge watch. I say it's mine because I am the one who actually bringing all these T5. I own the T5 market for hides and fiber. They come to my bridge watch and they go ahead and buy all these hides, and they travel to Cardion to sell it for higher. So I was increasing the content of players going into the red zone, which they didn't want to, or players from the red zone going giving escorts and stuff like that. So this is basically what happened back then. And what is the point of this whole thing? And I wanted to show you back then again. Look how safe it is. I watched my TV on the left, Yu-Gi-Oh, and something else. I think it was. No, I think I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh back then during that time, and I was watching movie Boo. I think is watch Boo, and basically I was farming during that time, and I didn't show my name and I didn't show the places I was because I know people would grief me. Higher PvP elite jerks will come into my zone and try to kill me to grieve me for what I was doing. So I changed my name, all that stuff. But look, I was just farming safely. So what SBI did, they nerfed the red zone to yellow zone. Yellow zone to red zone. Slow Tree and Snap Shaft and a bunch of other yellow zone became red zone. It was too much players' safety that they didn't want to go to the red zone, so players stayed in the yellow zone, and they were doing the same thing that I was doing. They were farming. And nowadays, it's 2019, and I have a video of me stepping into the shoes of a gatherer with 0 premium for 3 days. And let me tell you something. During that time, if you look at the video, you'll see players at T8, T7, and higher master quality farming in yellow zone for gathering. And you know why? Because what I did in the past actually works. It does make money. You want to know why again? Okay. Know that before the free-to-play, the hide was at 200 at Bridge Watch, and the fiber was between 160 to 180 silver per T5. So if you farm 1 T5 hide, you'll sell it for 200 silver. If you farm 1 T5 fiber, you'll sell it for 160 to 180. I came back. Even if they nerf it, it didn't actually work. You can nerf the yellow zone to red zone. Unless you nerf all yellow zone, you can still make money. This is what happened. I came back, and during that time, March 14, I actually came back on March 8, but I sold my Master Fawn for 12 mil, and after I sold my Master Fawn for 12 mil, I bought me an 8.2 equivalent gear to do hardcore expedition, and everyone will kick me out of the hardcore expedition because I wasn't a holy healer. I had to be a holy healer, life touch, or a holy healer normally, or greater holy healer. I cannot be a druid. I cannot be a wild staff user. So even though I bought 8.2 and I bought a bunch of insight tome, because during that time, if you look at the do I have a picture down here? Actually, one second. During that time, I was tier 6 on greater nature, and I spent all of my 12 mil between 8.2 gear and insight tome to get T8 wild staff so I could do some heroic dungeon. And I couldn't even do the so much heroic dungeon because player would kick me. Again, March 14 arrived, and I already heard about the news about the March 20 patch, the random dungeons, which in my moto I said I would join this I would come back and play this game if the random dungeon is how it should be, and it's supposed to be like entertaining and awesome and worth doing. So then I said I need to farm about maybe like 12 mil or so, in case I do get dive and I lose some of the gears in the T5, T6, T7, and able to keep going, so I can get that delicious fame. So again, I started at 241,000 at 8:40 a.m. 3/14/2019, and I was gonna do the same thing that I did in the Gathering Yellow. I was gonna go out there and farm. So from here at the 8:40 to 7:26, around somewhere between, I would say around 3 a.m. I went to sleep, and I wake up at 7:26. I had 6.8 mil. And again, let me go back down here to the places that I was farming. Here's a picture. I was watching a video on the left side, and the right side, I was just farming freely with nobody bothering me. Some of the areas were at 1.5 or 3.5. Unless you do reset, it was at 5 out of 5. So it was 1.5 and 3.5, and I was already at 4.9 mil. Again, I got up to the whole thing 7:26 a.m. I'm at 6.8 mil, and I kept going. I kept going. I did not sleep. I went full 7:26 a.m. to 7:51 p.m. on the 3 of the 15th of 2019 for 10 mil. For 4 days I did this, and basically there it is, 18 mil in 4 days. Just doing what? T5 only. I did some T4, obviously. It's 4.2. I'll rather anything that's enchanted, obviously. But I didn't went for tier 6, tier 7, tier 8. So, obviously, you can see that this was an issue back then. All of the players are earning a lot of money, and the price there was back then is the same price before the free-to-play. Now, it is free-to-play. So what happens? In free-to-play, most of the maps may be either 0-0 because there's farmed, or you will fight 1 out of 5. Let me tell you something. If I was able to do this in 4 days, you need to multiply 18 mils times 4 because the profit went up to 880 silver per T5 instead of 200 silver per T5. So basically, I would say, let me get a calculator, motherfucker. I would say 72 mil in 4 days? I can earn 72 mil in 4 days. However, the place is becoming overcrowded now. So I think if I were to do 4 days again, I think I'll be around the same amount of time because now it's beyond overcrowded if you go over there. And soon enough, by the way, back then they had the spawn decrease. Free to player, they increased the spawn of T4 and T5 because of the about the population that is in the yellow zone. So again, this is to show you that yes, they did balance it. However, you still can do it. You still, with enough perseverance, I did it. You still can do it. You still can make a lot of money through gathering. I would say they need another Nerf and take all the yellow zone and just make it red zone. But a lot of players will cry about that, and that shouldn't be done because the majority of the players that now they're getting money is from some of the new players who are actually spending gold. Not the majority, but a new player are actually spending gold, and later on they're just spending silver. So back then, in my profit, before I quit, which I think it's actually this video right here is very old, but I need to show the channel. So this is the channel, it's FAO. I published on October 10, 2017, the retired video of Albion Online. 163 views for that one. It doesn't really matter. I was actually doing a specific video to Albion Online only. 62,000 gold, 130,000 silver. You wonder where these gold went to. I gave it away for free when I quit. Just like I was giving silver or gear or knowledge of the game for free when I quit this game. So back then I gave away 62,000, which right now, not at this point, okay? Not at this point, but at the point that I started playing this game, it would have been 105 million silver instantaneously if I had that access of that gold. But I didn't. I gave it straight away. And now to show you what happened in Random Dungeon. Random Dungeon. I did not do any hellgate. You have to understand. I didn't want to do any PvP. I did not know that the PvP was awesome for hellgate. I did not know the price. It got buffed a second time, and it was worth it. All I read was a thread that it was worth less, and I didn't do it. But now it's worth it. Now it's worth it to do hellgate. Hellgate beats Random Dungeon, and please. On March 25, please look at the price of this, how they are right now. Do not take this as face value. Look at this right here. I was earning 300,000, 1.2 mil on Elder Druid Feather, 199,000, 200,000 basically for expert carved skull padding. Do you know how much this piece of shit worth right now? The Elder Druid Feather, that's worth between 100 to 110k. Each. Obviously, the buff of the Hellgate and the amount of people doing Hellgate and the amount of players, free-to-players coming into this game doing all these content makes the amount of money that I earned right there shitty. However, I took advantage of this, baby. And look at this. Look at this. 299,000, 300,000, 800,000 here, 299,000. And by the way, look at the price. Look at the price. I was undercutting like shit. 599,000 for this in random dungeons. I was earning 1.2 mil. I put it for 799,000. Boom. I put it the Esper Druid robe. It was at 339,000. Not a lot, but I put it to 299,000. Look at this right here. 300,000. 420,000. 135,000. 190,000. 2.8 million for the Ascension Master map. And in my skip run, if you look at the video for the skip run for Duo for my boy Atreus, I think he's the one that came with me. I don't think Johnson came. I think Atreus came with me, and we did it. He's found a mod and sold it for like 1.3 mil and made like 2 to 3 mil in that like one run basically of skip run random dungeon, which I made a guide for that. Basically, look at it over here: 140,000, 110,000, 1 mil for the other druid feather. I go back down here. Look at this: the Grandmaster Inferno Cloth. 180,000. I sold this baby. I put it was 900,000. I went down. And look, Master Relic, 64 of them for 252,000. I was earning fucking money. I'm at 42 mil in here, and I was earning money. That was random dungeon. Do you think I'm gonna do fucking Hellgate if I didn't know that it was big thing? I didn't know it was huge amount of inside tome, like you get a 4 for each player or something like that, and you basically get all these awesome loot, and you get 105,000 fame mob for just the boss. You think I wouldn't do it? Look at this: 15 mil in 1 week. Chaotic Dion, 50 mil in 1 week. T5 dungeon, doing duo and trio at that time, so 2-man and 3-man. Then I joined the guild, which is this time. The guild was called the Bacon. Will Suck for Catch was with me during this time. He actually left the core run and tried to do T8 more. And then at one point he did some more core run because it was too much ganking, too much dive. And then again he went back to tier 8. And let me tell you something: T5 versus tier 8 random dungeon during this time, during March. I think this is around March 30. I joined the guild. The guild has been on for 1 month, and I've been only on for 1 week. Yet I killed everybody. The Bacon do T7 and T8. This is where I lost the 12 mil. Doing T7, I went there in 7.1 for 7.2 as being asked that I should be geared to do those, but I got dived in Cred Dub. On top of Cred Dub, Bay Aiden. And during that time, I think Oops owned it, that whole place. But I was getting dive all the time. And then Maladine did 15 mil during the whole time that he was in the guild. I looked 7 mil during doing T8, and I did 15 mil in T5 Black Zone, which is 25% more fame. I did T5 Black Zone for 1 week, and boom, I'm aiding 15 mil. Do you think I'm gonna do fucking Hellgate? Hell fuck no. Until I realized that Hellgate is better, and I started learning about Hellgate. In my video, I did a Hellgate 5v5 and 2v2, and I am going to admit it right now. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a retard. Because if I knew that Hellgate was like this, I would not waste my time in doing random dungeon. I would have done 5v5 Hellgate. I would have stopped right here at 42 mil, and I would have bought flat 4 or 4.1. During that time, I think Hellgate was at 800 IB cap. I was already 400 out of 400 spec because it didn't took so much to get there with random dungeons, and I would have done Hellgate. So about the Hellgate, it is low risk versus high reward. It does need balance. Do I care? No, I quit. I fucking quit the game. Goodbye. I quit the